Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Exceeding the Crown. If you don't know, my name is Brittany Joy, and this season, Exceeding the Crown presents Divorce, Not Damage. And listen, today I have my first male interview about divorce, not damage. And today we're talking about fatherhood after divorce. And I'm excited because I'm a mom. So this is something I can never even speak to. So to be able to have somebody come on and speak to this is so important and so insightful, even for myself. So let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Exceeding the Crown. And I'm so excited about our first male interview. And today we are talking about fatherhood after divorce. And I have a wonderful guest here, Matt. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before
Sure.
we get into the deep and the nitty gritty of everything. Tell us some things.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here. I was very honored and humbled to be asked to be here. This is actually my first podcast, so I guess it's kind of fitting that I'm the first male on
Yeah.
your podcast. So yeah, I've never done a podcast before, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so you guys be nice to him, okay? Thank you.
Yes, please. So, yeah, my name's Matt. 47 years old. Divorced, father of one. I have a 13-year-old daughter. It's the absolute light of my life. She'll be 14 in July.
Whew.
Starts high school next year.
Ooh.
So Daddy's struggling with that one a little
Oh
bit.
my goodness.
Yeah. I tell people all the time the days are long, but the years are short,
Yeah,
and that is that certainly holds true
that's good.
for me. Yeah. So. I guess I could, kind of start from the beginning of my professional career and how I ended up here.
Yeah.
So I got out of the Army in 2005. I did, 6 years and some change
Okay.
in the Army. I pretty much grew up in Georgia, grew up in South Georgia. And so when I got out and wanted to come back closer to home,
Yeah.
ended up getting a good job opportunity here in Augusta. And so I moved to Augusta in '05, September of '05. I'm a DoD civilian now, and pretty much been here ever since. 2019, I got another good opportunity to leave and go to Huntsville, Alabama.
Mm.
So I did that for 3 years, and then I got a follow-on assignment from there to Germany, and that one was fairly short-lived for reasons that we'll get into.
Get
in a bit.
into. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of, and then so that was. I came back to Georgia from Germany fall of 2022, and so I've been back ever since.
So not too far.
No,
2022. No.
no,
Okay. So let's get into why the people are watching. So based on what you can, tell me a little bit like how long were you married?
sure.
And then when were you divorced? And then let's start talking about fatherhood after divorce.
Okay. Yeah. So I got married in 2011, and so I was married for well, technically 12 years, because when the divorce was finally finalized, we had been married for 12 years, but really it was more like 11.
Okay.
We separated. I guess technically in the summer of 2022. So what ended up happening was I was under the impression and under the understanding that
Mhm.
I was going to go to Germany first and be there for a year. And then my wife and daughter would join me after a year. There were just various things going on at the time, family things that were going on. And it's like, okay, that I didn't like it, but it made sense. I said, okay. So I ended up going to Germany in June of 22, and a couple of months later found out that what I thought was an understanding was in fact not, and was informed that she wanted a divorce. And so that, yeah, to say my world changed overnight,
Drastically.
yeah, overnight would be an understatement. Yeah.
So this is just so I have the timeline correctly.
Mhm.
You went to Alabama,
Mhm.
and from Alabama, you guys were going to Germany.
Yep.
And when you went to Germany is when the discussion of you're going there first.
Well, we had that discussion prior to me going.
Okay.
I think that was in February, March timeframe
Mhm.
of 2022. Um, and again, I did not like the idea. Matter of fact, my first reaction was, I'll call the whole Germany thing off. We won't
Mm.
do this at all. We can just go back to Georgia. It's like, no, I want you to, don't want you to miss this opportunity.
So it was encouraged for you to go.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
And so, um, finally accepted it, went, and that was June of 22, and then by August of 22, I was informed of that I was about to not be married anymore.
So you were very unaware. Like it was no no indicators.
Not for divorce, no.
Okay.
I mean, there were things going on. We were definitely not in the best of places, but not. No,
Not
not
divorce. Because
no.
all marriages have rough patches.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just and a lot of it had to do with world events at the time, family events at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a it was a whole conglomeration of things
Okay.
that you really can't
Yeah.
put your finger on any one of them. Just a lot of contributing factors
Mm-hmm.
that went into that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Germany and you're getting this news of I want a divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And okay. So I get the impact of that because we work for the same agency,
Yeah.
but moving to Germany, especially within our agency, is not an easy thing.
No, it's not.
That's not a financial. Okay. And that means what do you do? Like when you get this news, what do you do?
I don't know how to I don't know how to answer that question because I m my immediate reaction was, "Okay, but I'm not staying here because I'm not gonna be away from my
Your
daughter."
daughter. Yeah.
Right. I
Hmm.
mean, I easily could have stayed in Germany in a lot of ways, in a lot of logistical ways.
Hmm.
It would have been logistically easier to just
Hmm.
stay there, but no, that
A thought.
wasn't even a question. Wasn't even never even no
Mm-hmm.
no. My mind was made up. That was an easy decision,
You got to get
and
back
I
to your
don't.
daughter.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't regret it. Um, yeah, that. So basically, I spent from so that I got that news in August, and so what it took me about a year, I think, of preparation to move to Germany.
Hmm.
I undid all of that, and I didn't do it by myself by any means. I had some tremendous people in my corner, that
Mm-hmm.
helped me with this. But I kind of quietly but quickly let key people know what was going on, and
Hmm.
they were very quick to step up to the plate and say, "Okay, we're going to get you back to where you need to be."
Hmm.
And so call it mid August, I think is when I found out. And by the end of September, I was back in Georgia.
Oh, you did not play.
No,
You did not play.
no,
You didn't
no,
play.
no, no, I did not. Um, and I definitely, my faith is really important to me. And so, one thing that I can always say is that God will make a way
Hmm.
for wherever you're
Yeah.
supposed to be, wherever He wants you to be, He's going to make a way,
Yeah.
and then, that I think in the initially, like how do you react to that? How do you respond to that? Um, One of the very first things that I did was pray
Mm.
because I mean, I remember asking God, just like, "Hey, help me,
Yeah.
get me out of here."
I mean, that's commendable in itself because if I'm being honest, there's sometimes situations happen to me and my first reaction sometimes is not to pray. It's to be
Oh, trust
angry.
me,
You're
yeah,
right. It's
yeah.
it's to be angry. It's to lash out. It's to try to fix it myself first.
Hey,
So to pray first is very commendable.
hey, when I'm out there riding down I-20 every day or riding down Gordon Highway every day, things happen that events occur
Yeah.
that might make me say words that I did not learn in Sunday school.
Mm-mm, you didn't learn those ones. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Make you repent. Yeah.
That's right.
So how you're getting this news? I'm even just thinking about the logistics of it all. How much money is spent, and you got, if you don't do your obligations, you have to pay all this money back,
Yeah.
and like all of these things. But your priority was your daughter.
Yeah.
Did she know, or was
No,
this a conversation?
no, my daughter didn't know. So right after I found out, this was another way that I reacted. I needed my people. I needed my support system,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I talked to my boss and said, "Look, I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off. I'm gonna go back to the States because I need to go be with my family."
Yeah.
And so, next phone call I made was to my wonderful sister, who, um, when I told her, you know, she basically said, "Get your ass on a plane and get here now.
Yeah.
And wherever you fly into, I don't care where it is, I'll come pick you up."
Okay.
And so she did. She, true to her word, she came and picked me up at the airport in Atlanta, and then went and stayed with her pretty much for the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So got to see my mom, got to see my sister, her husband at the time. Um, yeah, that that was very helpful in the early days,
Mm-hmm.
especially trying to just I felt like I was drowning
I can
in it,
imagine.
just trying to sort everything out in my head and make sense of
Mm-hmm.
of everything. Um, so that was very helpful. And of course, it's not something I'll ever forget. Um, but yeah, as far as the logistics go, it's so funny how and it kind of goes back to God always making a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally every little thing that needed to line up just right lined up just right. It just did.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of people involved, a lot of moving pieces that all just all kind of lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate because I had signed a lease on an apartment. Um, the same realtor that I used to find that apartment helped me find somebody to just take over the lease. There was a um, army captain and their family that was, I think, getting ready to switch from active duty military to DoD civilian,
Mm-hmm.
and so they were living on base, and then they were going to have to find a place off base because they were going to get cost of living allowance or
Mm-hmm.
BAQ, whatever they call it. Um, anyway, that just kind of just worked out. It worked out over a matter of a couple of days, and so I was able to get out of the apartment lease. I had not taken the only thing I had taken delivery of was unaccompanied baggage, and I only had a couple of boxes of just like really basic stuff. Some sheets and towels and a few things to cook with and
Mm-hmm.
cups and some clothes and stuff like that. So I just boxed all that up, took it to the post office on post, and just paid to send it back myself. But I had not taken delivery of my household goods. Um, had I done that, that would have changed things pretty
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
significantly because I would have had to probably
Pay.
pay for all
Yeah.
that to ship all that
That's a
back.
pretty penny.
But I was actually able to divert my household goods and just get the delivery changed or
Oh,
from Germany to Georgia.
okay.
So they shipped it back to Georgia, and then I ended up taking delivery once I got back.
Okay. So when you finally had like the first conversation with your daughter after all of this, what was that like?
It was not good
Mm.
because the very first conversation that I had with her was basically us telling her that we were getting a divorce.
So you ended up having.
Yeah, we
Oh.
did it together.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
it was joint.
Okay.
I didn't want to do it at that time because that was during that. It was at the very end of that 2 week period when I came back to the States,
Okay.
just to kind of get my support system lined up, get some logistics things
Mm-hmm.
lined up on this side of the world. Um, yeah, that that was right at the end of that 2 weeks. And I was absolutely not in favor of having that conversation right then and there. But that's what ended up happening.
How how was she?
Oh, she cried, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Um, she was pretty upset. And I think that was the hardest part for me, and was knowing that, I'm having to tell her, right here at the, I'm only here for a couple of weeks. And, now I'm literally within a day or two of having to go back to Germany. And I don't know, at that time, I didn't know how long it was going to take me
Mm.
to, get everything lined up so that I actually could, you know, come back. I didn't even fully know that I would be able to come back,
Yeah.
but that was the goal. And so, I kind of never took my eyes off the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very difficult conversation, and just the not being able to be there for her, physically, um, in the aftermath of having that conversation. I think that's what bothered me
Mm.
the most. And then, yeah, having to get on that plane and go back to Germany, not knowing how long it was going to be before,
You seen her again?
to see her again. That
Yeah.
was pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I don't. If I could have a Groundhog Day, a day that, yeah, I could live over and over again, it would not be that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other days I would pick before
Yeah.
I picked that one.
I can imagine that was very hard. So you're going through this. Obviously, your daughter is going through this, right? Because we can't leave the kids out
Right.
when we do get a divorce. They're definitely impacted.
Absolutely.
How did your relationship as a father change with her?
Um, it changed. It actually changed pretty significantly. Um, I don't like I we I've tried to answer her questions in a in an appropriate way, in an
Mm.
age appropriate way over the
Mhm.
past few years. And she really hasn't had a whole lot of questions. But in the times that she has, and I've been adamant that I will just answer truthfully in an age appropriate way, but I'm
Mhm.
not going to do it in such a way that um, cast any negativity
Mhm.
over my ex wife. I just I won't. I'm just not going to
Mhm.
go there.
Mhm.
There's no reason to. But I
Mhm.
think I get the sense that my daughter blames me a lot
Mm.
because I left. That's not the whole story,
Mhm.
as we're
Mhm.
finding out. But and from her eyes and in her mind, I
You
mean
left.
what that's
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah.
So do you feel, I mean, she's 14. Do you feel like it's appropriate just to hold that
Yeah.
blame?
I mean, I made this comment to a friend recently. I've got God gave me pretty broad shoulders, so
Okay.
um, and He did it for a reason. So
Yeah.
uh, if she were to broach the subject and you know ask like really pointed questions, or even come right out and um, like overtly tell me like, yeah, I blame you.
Mm.
Um, then, yeah, we might have a different conversation, but for right now,
No.
it's better to just let that let that lie.
So it's like you can feel that she blames you, but because it's not outright, you rather still just hold that blame until she's ready. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's more about me kind of sensing and judging, reading the room with her
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. Um, of yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's none of this is easy. I mean,
No.
you know, I mean,
Mm-mm.
you know, um, there's no there's no playbook that
Mm-mm.
tells you, okay, well, follow this flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
If yes, then do this. If no,
Mm-hmm.
then do no, that yeah, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's one of the tricky things, especially when you get a divorce with kids, because one, we all know all kids are different. right? And how they're raised is different, their personalities and all that is different. And divorce is just not, it's not easy. And I don't think it's, when we get married, no one says, I'm getting married to get a divorce.
No,
Like
no,
we don't do that.
no.
Especially when you bring kids into this. So what do you feel like has been the biggest challenge for you? You have a daughter. You have one daughter,
I do.
right?
Yeah,
Um, when it comes to, especially as as the father, because I can speak from the mother's point of view when it
sure.
comes to co-parenting and things like that and how I feel. But as the father, and we know oftentimes, not in every situation, but in a lot of situations, the father ends up with less time with the kids.
Yes.
What is the biggest challenge when it comes to that in co-parenting?
Oh, hands down. The biggest the biggest struggle that I've had is that, and I'm not even going to call it an adjustment
Mm,
because you don't adjust to that. You, as a parent, you don't adjust from, you know, living every day of your life, being able to see your kid
mm-hmm,
every single day, pretty
mm-hmm,
much without exception, and from going from that to basically 2 out of every 14 days,
mm,
and so every other weekend.
yeah,
Um, I'm not going to call it an adjustment because you don't adjust to that. There's no, um, I mean, it's real life.
yeah,
It's and you deal with it. I mean, because you really don't have any other choice. But there's really no adjusting to that. Um, that is, and this one's tricky too, because I think this is one of those situations where, in a lot of situations, you can, like, one person can empathize with another.
mm-hmm,
You know, they you really can't you really can't empathize with this and what that feels like.
mm-mm,
You have to sympathize, and but in order to sympathize, and that means you have had to live that yourself, and you've had to experience what that's, felt like, yourself. And that's the rub, because I I don't want anybody
mm,
to ever have to find out what that feels like.
mm,
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
mm,
No, no, no parent should ever have to find out what that feels like.
mm.
That's that's been the hardest part. That's been the biggest
Yeah,
struggle.
because I definitely feel I. If you guys can't get this on screen, you're a present dad, not like a very bystander. You're in her life.
Yeah.
So to have that, and so is she close? Is that
Yeah, fairly close. They live a couple of counties over, so she's about 45 minutes away.
okay?
On a good day, 45 minutes. On a bad traffic day,
Yeah,
it could take upwards of an hour to
yeah,
get there. But yeah, it's close.
yeah.
And so our typical weekends together, like, and this week was really great because, I had her for the first half of spring break,
Mm,
so I was able to, take some take some much needed time off work,
mm-hmm.
and
Much
and
needed.
yeah, much needed. Like, to the point I didn't realize how much I needed it until I was actually, like,
Off.
had stepped away, and yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I needed that. Um, but yeah, our typical weekend, I'll go, I'll leave work, 1:30 on Friday afternoon, just so I can get to school in time to pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
Pick her up about 3 o'clock, and then, yeah, we'll spend the weekend together, and then, Sunday evening, drop her back off with her mom.
Mm.
So that's
So this has been how four? What we're in 2026.
yeah.
So
When did that happen? When
yeah,
did this become
I don't know.
2026?
I don't know. Let's not talk about it. It's been a year. So what? Because you said there's no such thing as adjusting to it.
Right.
So
You manage it.
manage. But is there still even? I don't want to say close or far. There's still a level of grief every time you have to drop her back off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and it's going to sound so weird, but it's even not that we ever have bad weekends together. We don't.
Mhm.
Um, but then some weekends, like it's like everything is just like everything we do, all the conversations we have, all the interactions we have, everything just hits like just right. Like it's almost like a vibe
Mm.
kind of thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when it's on, I mean, you you live in that moment, and
Yeah.
you don't want that
End.
to end. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And so those are the hardest weekends, is when it's been just a great vibing weekend,
Yeah.
and then now it's like boom, 5:30 Sunday afternoon, time to go.
Yeah.
It's like okay, yeah. There's been numerous times, um, holding myself together as I drive her
Mm.
to drop her back off has been difficult.
Yeah.
And then right after I drop her off and I don't have to hide
You can let it
anymore.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes that drive back home can be therapeutic,
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah.
So how has your approach to fathering changed or had to change?
That is such a great question. Um, it definitely has changed. And I really don't, and I think for anybody, I don't know how it couldn't change, because the dynamics are
Mhm.
just so different.
Yeah.
Um, for me, because we have because we have such kind of limited time together, you know you always kind of lean towards the want to go do the fun stuff,
Mm.
and that's important, and I
Mhm.
think and we certainly do those things, and I'll take her shopping, or I'll take her, she's big into you know makeup and beauty products.
She's about to be 14.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I need to pair the two of y'all up. Y'all would hit it off.
Oh, bring her over.
um, but yeah, so you definitely want to do the fun stuff, but at the same time, you're always the parent.
Mm.
You're never not the parent.
Mhm.
And so that comes with, the continued responsibility of, you know, teaching and discipline,
Mhm.
and you don't want to, like you can't shirk the responsibility of discipline just because you want to have fun
Mhm.
for the weekend, or do the fun things, for the weekend. That still has to be, baked into
Mhm.
the formula. And you really can't get away from that. So I think it's always, striking that right balance between, understanding that you have, limited time together, not wanting to, um, not wanting negativity to like have a cloud hanging over that
Mhm.
limited time, but also understanding that, you're still the adult, and you still have, a responsibility,
Mhm.
for, how your child's being raised, and
Mhm.
you can't shirk that responsibility.
How okay, even getting more into co-parenting because we have like, I'm the mom of the situation. So I definitely have my kids a lot more,
Yeah,
right? And they're gone every other weekend. Um s- from the father's point of view, when it comes to that discipline during the week when you can't be there physically,
yeah,
when it comes to how your child is being raised, because she's always your child, she's
yeah,
always your daughter,
absolutely.
and you're always going to care about what's happening even when she's not in your physical circle.
Yeah,
How does that happen? Do you feel like you should, you could, you can, when it comes to those hard moments when you're not there, when it comes to she needs her dad, but she's there, you're here, when it
yeah,
comes to maybe something, the way she's being raised, or you don't agree with it. You don't agree that this is how it should happen. How do you still maintain, or how do you father in those moments?
yeah. So The answer to that question is actually fairly easy because I am extremely blessed and extremely fortunate to have a very kind-hearted and well-behaved daughter. Like
Amen. Okay.
we really don't get, I don't get a lot of problems
Okay.
out of her.
Mhm.
Um, that again, just like, knock on wood that trend continues.
Mhm.
Because I mean, yeah, teenagers. I mean, we all lived through teenage years. I
Yeah,
mean,
we did.
we were all stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
we did stupid stuff.
yeah, we did.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I Sometimes I wonder how I'm still alive.
Amen.
It's,
By his
um,
grace.
by
Thank you,
His grace.
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, yes. Um, so no, that thankfully is not has not really been something we've had to worry about too
Mhm.
much, just because of how good of a young lady she is and
Yeah.
how well behaved she is.
How do you ensure that you stay emotionally connected with her?
Yeah, definitely try to communicate as much as possible.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of texting because she's
A teenager?
13 years old.
Yep.
Yep. Um, and we'll talk on the phone every once in a while, but yeah, definitely text throughout the week.
Yeah.
I don't ever want her to ever doubt that I'm there, that I'm present, that I'm available, and above all else that I love her.
Yeah.
And so I try to constantly you know remind her of that in various ways.
Yeah. What do you think is most misunderstood about the roles of fathers that like how critical or what don't you think, and you can be very honest,
Yeah.
right? As a mom, what do you feel like sometimes we may miss or we don't see as very critical about your role after a divorce?
Um, I think it's just the fact that no matter what, you know, the father is still the father
Yeah.
and will always be the father, and there's no replacement for that.
Mhm.